The brand new Digimon ban list is finally here, and today I want to discuss the ban list itself and also talk about an issue that I feel like the ban list is currently facing in the Digimon card game. So let's talk about it. So overall there are 6 limits on this ban list and there is 1 unrestricted card. So I'm going to go over the list that Bandai have provided themselves, their reasonings, and also give you my thoughts and opinions on those cards. Let's talk about probably some of the bigger ones. Well, they're all big. Probably the biggest one, which is the Ukkomon. This one being the promo. I was expecting one of the Ukos to essentially be hit. I wasn't expecting it to just be an outright limit, but we'll get into that in a bit. So let me read off what Bandai had to say about Ukkomon. It was intended for this to be a card that could be combined with the promo Lui and used in a variety of decks, but the importance of this one card turned out to be much bigger than predicted, as it increases the speed of control decks that don't require level 3 and provides many options by securing memory. As a result, there is a difference in power between decks that use this card and those that can't, resulting in a loss in diversity in the decks that can be used. So I do agree, Ukko essentially was the reason why Numemon is a broken deck, was also going to be broken in stuff like Ancient Garuru, Ancient Greymon decks that are they're released now in BT17. And yeah, obviously this card is broken. Netting you a memory, hatching an egg, and doing it all over again is pretty good as it turns out. So am I shocked that this is hit? No. What I am shocked about is them just purely limiting the card. If you watch the ban list video that I did with my locals, leave a link in the description down below, I talked, and a lot of people talked, about limit pairing these Ukkomons. So you can either play the BT16 one or the promo one. And I feel like that does enough. Play one of them, the rest of the other one is banned. I feel like that did a better job overall because then you can only play 4 Ukkomons in your deck and you have to decide which one it is. But I guess then you can argue that maybe the promo one's better or the BT16 is better, or maybe you just don't even care about playing 2 Ukkomons. You just care about playing 1, so it's not as effective. So maybe limiting it is just the better option here. Yeah, I am kind of surprised they just decided to outright limit it. Then we have the promo Lui that was also hit on the ban list. Let's talk about the reasonings Bandai gave. By repeatedly combining effects that aren't once per turn, such as BT6 Matashidas with this card's on-play effect, the game speed accelerates dramatically, making it difficult for many decks to compete. Because various decks use countermeasures against this combination, decks that are strongly affected by the countermeasures are no longer able to perform as effectively as they should, resulting in the loss of diversity in the decks being used. This is obviously just a hit towards the ancient Gabu deck that people were running with the Bond of Friendship stuff and the Matashidas, because that deck was insane in testing from what I saw. So didn't understand the hit, but again, it is a limit. So I feel like you could still probably play the deck if you wanted to. Maybe not as powerful as it once was. You can still definitely tinker with this deck and I'm sure it will do very well. I'll get into it after I discuss all the cards here, but I feel like there is a fundamental problem with limiting cards in this game at this point. But we'll get to that later on. The next card, and this was a shock to me because I didn't feel like they were going to hit this card, was the Hammer Spark option card. So they had to say about this was, this card has been used in decks that include blue cards for a long time, but the increased variety of cards available now allows for more card drawing, making it possible to have multiple cards in the hand and use them consecutively in one turn. As a result, it has become easy to speed up the game, widening the gap between decks that can use this card and others. Now, I have an issue with this card being hit. I think it did deserve to be hit, don't get me wrong, right? But I feel like it's not effective because they mentioned it, the problem themselves. This game has so much search and so much draw at this point. These cards are easily searchable, which begs the question, is the limited list working as intended? Because I don't think it is. Limiting this card is interesting because I feel like they need to limit stuff like Grav Crush, Jack Raid, Blinding Ray, because those cards essentially do the same thing. Some of them have a downside, but being realistic, they're not really downsides. Like Grav Crush and Blinding Ray a downside because usually those play into the game plans, and if you're going to win that turn, the last memory is all that matters. So those work out pretty well. So I feel like all of them need to be limited or banned. Will they? Probably not. Obviously blue is a very popular color this upcoming format, so I understand that, but at the same time, a bit disappointed in this hit because they should hit all of them and not just one. Next card is Awakening of the Golden Knight, the option card that was used in Yellow Vaccine to go into Magnamon X. So let's read what they had to say about it. This card is used in decks that mainly use BT16 Magnamon X, of course, which has a high usage rate in recent game environments. When combined with cards such as level 3 cards that support Digievolution, Patamon, it was possible to keep Magnamon X Antibody on board early on to move to attacking. The above play is very powerful and creates situations that many decks can't handle. I think this is one of the few cards on the ban list that I actually do agree with being limited, because this card essentially is the gateway into Magnamon X. You can Digivolve onto it, sure, but this is the main gateway into that card, and that card doesn't really exist anymore. You're not going to be playing 4 Magnamon or 3 Magnamon X's just for the one-off card anymore, so it actually reshapes the deck. Essentially, you know, this cheat code from going to 4 to 6 isn't accessible anymore. It's obviously a card designed for a different time, and that time has passed and now is being used for different reasons. So yeah, I 100% agree this card is a good hit being limited. Then we have Numemon X, and this is what they had to say about it. When using Numemon decks, this card has high board retention from the beginning of the game, and its inherited effect can be reused when combined with other cards, Monzaemon, etc., allowing this single card to significantly increase the ability to control the entire deck. In addition, since a level 6 can also be played by its effect, it is easy to Digivolve from there to a level 7, which has higher output to create a one-sided control board at an early stage. For the reasons stated above, we expect this card will play a very large role in the deck, resulting in a loss of diversity in the cards included. That's a really weird description, by the way. I just noticed that, like, we expect this to have I just need to read that again. We expect this card will play a very large role in the deck. What are you on about, Bandai? Like, this card has already had a huge usage in the deck since its release in BT15. Ooh, silly Bandai, shocker. Look, this card is obviously a problematic card, and it's still going to be used as a one-off in the deck, and I'm sure you could probably still play the deck even with this at 1, because you can just search a lot in this game. This is the issue with this game. You could search way too much at this point, and these limits are not very effective. So I'm sure you're going to be able to find this card because you can do it from your opening hand twice because you have a mulligan and you have draw in this deck. So yeah, I just don't think the limiting of this card is effective. Will it push people away from the deck? Sure, it will do that, and it will put it to a more healthy place than it was before. But I don't think it's good enough. I'm not really shocked by this card being hit. I feel like it's going to be okay if you still want to play Numemon, maybe just a little bit more clunky than it was before. The final card that was hit was TK from BT14. This is what they had to say about it. Having multiples of this card in play makes it easy to continuously and significantly increase memory, guaranteeing stability in Yellow Vaccine decks and others that use this card. Also, this card's role through the entire game becomes significant since the effect, which increases or decreases the security card, can be activated for a low memory cost. On top of this, having memory gained after the recovery effect lets the player do more and makes matches take excessively longer. Interesting that they're mentioning the timing of this deck, because I don't think they've mentioned that before. I don't think they have, which is very, very interesting. At the same time though, I 100% get why they want to limit this card. The problem with Yellow Vaccine, and I've mentioned this in a video before with the deck guide that I did ages ago, is that this deck is always going to get more powerful as more and more vaccine cards get printed. Any vaccine card that is printed in the future, you can immediately go, oh yeah, I can run that in the Yellow Vaccine deck. And that is essentially what has happened here. The biggest weakness of this deck is that you Digivolve into Pata, promote, and then you don't have a level 4 in security. TK guarantees you that and also gains you memory for doing so, which is not healthy. I've never said Patamon was the problem. I always think that TK or something that puts something in the security for cheap is the problem, and TK is that card. So I do agree with it being hit here, and I also think it's a pretty good limit here because it's not as searchable in those decks. Essentially, you kind of have to like hard draw it or like get some search through, like Ukkomon, for example. So I do agree that this card should be limited. I think it is a very effective card being limited here, and so I do agree with it here. I think it is a good hit. And finally, the unrestricted card, I should say, is the starter deck 6 Gabumon. Essentially, this is a card that was banned when all the purple stuff was broken, when Anubis was a problem, and they're bringing it back essentially. The game pace has gone faster. This card is not as good. There's ways to prevent people from attacking, so it's not as effective. So yeah, 100% agree. This card should be back. It doesn't do enough in the game state currently. So yeah, 100% agree with it being back. So what I've alluded to in this whole video essentially is that I feel like limiting these cards is not effective as it once were. I think in certain situations it makes sense for cards to be limited, like the TK and the Awakening of the Golden Knight. However, stuff like Ukko, Lui, these are still to be played within their related decks essentially, and they're still to be very effective because all of these cards tend to be searchable, or they can draw into them very easily. Like, you're not going to have trouble finding the Ukko, the Lui, because there's generic Tamer and Digimon search in the game through Ukkomon himself. And then there's also stuff like just in archetypal stuff that will help you find cards as well. So I don't really have a lot of hope in regards to that, because I feel like there's a lack of understanding on Bandai's part. The Numemon is the most questioning thing on this list, because I feel like they don't understand their own limited list themselves, because they're saying this card is going to have impact soon, but soon is BT 15 and to extent 14. So I feel like Bandai don't even understand their own limit list. And if you look at the history of the limit list, at the start of the game, it was understandable because the game was very, very slow. Like, getting into your one-off hidden potential discovered was more difficult to what it was now. And as more and more draw and search happens within the game, less and less of an issue. Like, if your opponent plays the Greymon X, the Doru Grey, Argo, like all these cards are easily searchable within their related decks essentially. So I feel like they need to really reconsider their limit list, because I feel like a lot of these cards being limited now doesn't really do much, and in fact actually makes it more infuriating for certain players, I feel. Like, I get annoyed when my opponent plays Hidden Potential Discovered because it's a one-off, and of course you have it, right? And it's the same for other cards as well in the format. So I feel like at this point, Bandai really needs to figure out what they're doing with the limited list in the future. There's only one card that has ever been banned in the Digimon card game, and that is Mega Digimon Fusion, which is obviously a bonkers broken card, and they banned it outright very quickly after. I feel like we need to see more bans in this game for, you know, the ban list to actually be effective. I mean, even when like Ukkomon was hit, which was the big bad of BT15, people were still trying to figure out ways to play it, and they actually did work pretty well. If that's not enough of a hint to understand that this ban list situation isn't working as intended, I feel like there needs to be some change happening with the ban list. Limited pairs is a good system. It worked well with the Koen Sayo, Tamer, and the related cards like the Zudamon, Keenan, etc. So I feel like I need to do more of that. I think limited pairs is important for the health of this game, quite frankly. Either have one Ukko or the other Ukko. I think we need to see more of that. But let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching, and my god, why is Mirage Gal still in this format?